by Hertery Dwarf. The chainsaw and M60 are fun, and I played this game for fun, not to be a sweaty tryhard, much how most people play the game. This kind of nitpicking is like when the competitive scene in a game ruins the entire casual balancing to appease them. So basically, if you don't use the chainsaw or the M60, you're considered a tryhard. Well, what if I say the AK-47 is fun to use? Because it almost one-shots everything except an expert realism, and it won't run out of ammo as fast as the chainsaw or the M60. The ammo problems with the M60 and the chainsaw is like mom telling you it's bedtime when you're playing a game you just bought.
Yeah, you can. Turn it off.
It's not tryharding, it's not being competitive, it's common sense to use the AK-47 over the M60. They're basically the same weapon, they excel at one-shot commons and doing high damage to special infected. While the M60 doesn't need to reload, it also has half of the ammo the AK-47 has. So this fun that you speak of will always run out immediately and at the most inconvenient times. What even is the counter argument here? Because I say the chainsaw and the M60 are bad means you can't have fun with them? I don't recall ever saying that. And why is the grenade launcher left out in this argument? Is it because it's an actual fun tier 3 weapon that is actually good to use? Where is this fun thing coming from? Fun is subjective. I could say using the AK-47 is fun. Someone else could say using the Deagle is fun. What's fun for a player can be completely different for another player. This comment is gaslighting me. I didn't say anything about rebalancing the weapons, and I didn't call the M60 or the chainsaw unfun. I just called them bad weapons because objectively they are the worst tier 3 weapons out of the 3. In fact, they're the worst weapons in almost the entire game. This is another comment on the tier 3 is nonsense. Bob Schlob, not gonna lie, I feel like a lot of your opinions and statements are pretentious. Like, really, the grenade launcher? Just because you have a lot of hours in the game doesn't mean anything if you actually don't learn and experience it. The grenade launcher is the worst to have simply due to the fact of the friendly fire and the slow reloading time. Coupled with the common infected, not always grouped up in hordes, it gets even worse. You gotta understand, not every weapon has to be the best at everything. They all fail. Infinite hordes can be solved with a chainsaw, random hordes can be solved with M60, and the grenade launcher is for the tank. But since you want to go with your logic, just use the AK-47 with lasers on everything, because anything else is trash or bad and not worth it. Alright, that was a pretty long comment, a lot to unpack. You heard it here, folks. The grenade launcher is the worst tier 3 weapon according to this comment, and the reason for that is the friendly fire and the reloading time. Look, you want to talk about experience, the full potential of the grenade launcher can only be used by the most seasoned veterans of this game. It's so good that it can help you skip entire sections of the video game, and the only reason why people can't do that is simply because they're not good enough. So if anything, it's you who should actually learn and get the experience to use the grenade launcher to its fullest potential. Compare the grenade launcher tech with the M60 and the chainsaw, which basically have zero tech to them, and the argument of learning and experience that this comment brings up is thrown out the window. You bring up reloading taking too long, well, so does a chainsaw revving up, and you shouldn't be worried about that if your positioning is correct with the grenade launcher. Bots / teammates should be able to cover you whenever you're reloading if your positioning is correct, and you have the Deagle to quickly switch to if you ever need to gun down any special infected too close to yourself or teammates. Avoiding friendly fire is dependent on the player's skill, not the weapon. The M60 and the chainsaw can both friendly fire as bad as the grenade launcher. In some cases, they could be even worse. Lastly, the infinite horde argument is just wrong. Neither the M60 nor the chainsaw can last long enough through an infinite horde. In fact, nothing does. Not even the AK-47. The only thing that could counter a full infinite horde is a bile jar. And yeah, the M60 will deal with a random horde pretty easily, but it'll be out of ammo and you'll be left with no primary. Compare it to even an auto shotgun, which can do the same thing without completely running out of ammo. So already this argument of tier 3 specializing in something is just wrong, because there are better weapons that specialize in what you think that tier 3 weapon like the M60 or random hordes do. If anything, it's the grenade launcher that fits perfectly into your specialization argument. It specializes in both killing special infected by staggering them and dealing great damage to the tank, but its true talent is its ability to make you defy gravity. No other weapon other than a throwable can do what the grenade launcher can do. And that's what makes it so special. So saying that it's only made for the tank is a clear sign of inexperience and ignorance. I didn't say that the AK-47 is the best weapon in the game. I'm pretty sure I stated that the sniper is the better weapon in Versus.
I think the Spaz 12 is the best weapon in realism. In Versus mode, it's the military rifle. Snipers are designed to kill special infected, which is you. So I think this weapon is the best in Versus because of that fact alone.
I think I also stated that every weapon is good.
Because any weapon can work in this game. This tier list just gives you an idea of how hard it can be to make them work. There is no shame in using any weapon you want.
And I think I said that the Spaz 12 is also the best weapon in realism.
The Spaz 12 is the best weapon in realism.
I think you get my point. I said the AK-47 with laser sights is effective in every game mode and scenario, which is why I think, in my opinion, it's the best weapon. And even though I did state that, I only stated that because I had to, because a tier list is basically my opinion on which is the best weapon. But in that tier list, I clearly said that every single weapon can be used. All these comments are gaslighting people into thinking that I'm saying that you have to use the AK-47, and if you don't use it, you're a punk. No, I specifically said I did not want you to get that type of idea from that video. I stated it plenty of times, so I'll say it one last time to set the record straight. The AK-47 is not the end-all be-all. You don't have to use it all the time. I don't even use it all the time. This is from the item tier video. Off-brand Fiji 6487. Bile jar is overrated. 20 seconds is nothing, and if you don't kill the horde surrounding the bile, they'll just latch onto you while the other common infected ahead of you attack you at the same time. Bile jar is not overrated, and you don't have to kill the horde surrounding the bile jar. The reason why you don't kill the horde is because the horde will have to catch up to you. If you do kill the horde, then the horde will now spawn in front of you, blocking your way. Left 4 Dead 2 has a common infected limit. You can abuse that limit by having all the common infected behind you, essentially clearing a path in front of you forever, as long as you don't run far enough for them to despawn. This one's from Dage LV. You're literally complaining that because expert is meant for experts makes no sense because advanced is made for advanced casuals. If you're a casual and you're pretty good, play advanced. If you're expert, then play expert. If not, then it's clearly it wasn't made for you. It's like seeking staff only sign on some door entering and then complaining about being removed because the restriction from the other doors to staff only doors was too drastic. If you're not an expert, then why are you entering an expert difficulty hoping it to be Minecraft peaceful? I'm not sure what this comment is talking about. I didn't say at all that expert itself is the problem or that advanced is made for casuals. In fact, that's not what the video was about at all. People complain how I kept repeating that we needed a bridge difficulty setting from advanced to expert because the difficulty spike is too random. But this is why I repeat myself, because people like this guy will think something completely different from what I was saying, and that staff only example doesn't make much sense. Expert to advanced is more like someone kicking you from 4th grade to high school, and there's no concept of a 5th grade to the 11th grade. If you fail, it's not really your fault, even though you knew it was high school levels of hard, because the jump was too big for you. You were set up for failure. This one's from Attach EVG. This video goes to show how sensitive modern gamers are. The lack of understanding of an established community and culture that exists the way it does for a reason. Whining and moaning over toxicity like a beta male. People say R because it's annoying when someone hasn't loaded in on infected and the survivors are speedrunning, messing up the opening hit. Vice versa, when someone triggers an infected spawning before survivors are all ready, so infected can infinitely attack survivors when one is in the kitchen making chicken nuggets. And if you know Left 4 Dead 2, then you know that you can't survive very long on your own as survivor. You need your teammates. There's no punishment for leaving a match, so why complain about one going sour when you can't just hop ship? Also, trying to frame Left 4 Dead 2 like if it's all degenerates is vile, because TF2 is the same way. It's the Steam community as a whole that is like that. So please get a grip, you numbing summer sale new friend. Lack of understanding of an established community and culture? What are you on about? the racism, the pornography of all types, including whiny and toxic community that is Versus. And let me be clear, I said the Versus community because not all of Left 4 Dead 2's community is toxic. It's mostly Versus. I'll take the blame where it's needed. When I was talking about the whole R thing, I mostly meant the first chapter. Because let's be real, most Versus games end in the first chapter. The point I was making, and again showed video proof of it, is that most people just do not wait for the R thing. During this time of waiting, people will jump off the map to get the charger, automatically making it uneven. People will take chip damage from the AI while they're waiting for R. Now, when R is used correctly, it's a good thing, but it's just rare. And if you just played Versus, you'd know that. And again, I was talking about mainly the first chapter where you can wait in a lobby instead of a game to avoid all these issues. And I'm well aware that most of these issues with R may come from me being known in the community now, because apparently to my own comment section, people usually follow R. It's just that when I join the game, people don't follow the R rule. And what is this making chicken nugget nonsense? At that point, you may as well leave the game. Why would anyone wait for you to make chicken nuggets? Are we talking about you making chicken nuggets in the loading screen? The fact that you think R was made for people to go make chicken nuggets means that you do not understand the Left 4 Dead 2 community. I mean, what type of example is that? Really? That's the only example you could have thought about? You're gonna turn me into my old self where I used to scream into the mic. The community is so bad that during loading screens, players will switch to the enemy team which is winning while the people who were originally on the winning team are still loading. And again, people usually don't care about R. It's really Valve's fault for not having a 40 to 30 second timer before the game starts like almost every other game that is PvP. Why not hop ship when a charger misses a single charge in the beginning chapter? When that happens, and I'm not saying that there should be a punishment for leaving, in fact, I didn't state that there should be that in any of the Versus videos I've ever made. My issue is that if you don't perform in a Versus game, you'll get clowned on every second by every single teammate and then kicked. If you do perform, everyone on the enemy team leaves. It's a lose-lose situation, regardless of what you do. And that was my point. Not hating on leaving because there's no punishment. I hated the fact that no matter what you do, you will get the same result. And that is all because of this hop ship mentality. And just like you said in your comment, the reason why you would hot ship is because people are being toxic to you, or you missed a charge or something that triggered the team to be toxic with you. And even if you landed that charge, the enemy team will just leave after you landed the charge. So either which way, the hop ship mentality doesn't fix anything. The issue is still there. TF2 isn't the same as Left 4 Dead 2. I know this because I have more hours on TF2 than I have in Left 4 Dead 2. You won't be friendly fired to death. You won't be kicked for messing things up like a backstab or messing up an Uber charge, and you won't be flamed for falling behind and getting lost. And just compare workshops. That isn't to say that TF2 doesn't have really weird add-ons, and it also has its own issues with toxicity. For me, back then it was scammers, like trade scammers, but that's a lot more rarer now. Also, there's the problem with man-up. Man-up is somewhat as toxic as Left 4 Dead 2 Versus, but an F2P or a new player needs to get a ticket, which is only once per year because of the Christmas stocking, which gives you a ticket. Even then, my experiences in man-up aren't as toxic compared to Versus when it comes to new players. TF2 has its own problems, but it's not even close to as toxic as Left 4 Dead 2. Just be real, come on. This entire comment just sounds like someone who doesn't play Left 4 Dead 2. I don't even understand this chicken nugget thing, I really don't. It's kind of upsetting me. Are you saying that I should wait for you to go put chicken nuggets in the oven and that's why R should be used? That's why you think I use R? So I can't say anything about people leaving instantly after landing a single death charge, but you can complain about me saying that people don't care about the R rule? So leaving the game prematurely is okay, and the game completely ending as soon as you land any successful charge is okay, but not waiting on R is dishonorable. You gotta wait for my chicken nuggets to be in the oven in order for us to play. What's the difference between the two? There are no rules preventing you from doing either one of those. So why should I follow this R rule if there's no punishment for it? People are just gonna leave anyways, and even if I do follow it, which I do, the games don't even get past the first chapter. Be real, maybe my reply to this comment isn't what the comment wants, but I'm confused on what the comment wants to say, because what it's saying is that you can leave the games because there's no punishment to it if you don't like what's happening in the game, right? And complaining about people leaving in the game is wrong because there's no rules attached to it. But can't I just say the same about the R rule? People don't follow it, so why get upset when I don't follow it? There's no punishment to not following it. And on top of that, because of this R rule being a thing, I'm only talking about the first chapter, people abuse it to get a better special infected spawn. For example, like this charger smoker combo while people are loading in. And I disagree with the entire Steam community being toxic. It isn't. In fact, in every way, probably the best community out there, hands down. They often fix Valve games, add content, and make entire games for free. So to say that the entire Steam community is like the Left 4 Dead 2 versus community is in itself toxic and ignorant. Calling me a know-nothing summer sale new friend only proves how toxic Left 4 Dead 2 community is to not only people who've played the game for a long time, but for mostly new players, because Left 4 Dead 2 players just call you a Steam summer sale user because you bought Left 4 Dead 2 on a sale. This comment is why Versus is the clown fiesta it is in modern day. He's too busy spraying the walls with who knows what type of animal porn and calling you a beta male because you don't understand his culture, instead of welcoming new players to the game with the Steam summer sale. After all, there's no punishment to being toxic, right? This comment is from Handle Needs 3 characters or more. I don't know, buddy. You seem pretty salty. Titanfall and Doom embrace this and make it an intended, respected feature based on skill. Sure, it was a friction issue back in the day, but nowadays not as much. Maybe get good instead of salty. I mean, I guess I was pretty upset. I was pretty young when I recorded this video, and I used to try to sound angry, but now people say I sound depressed, so it doesn't matter how I sound. I suppose there's always going to be a negative aspect to my voice. You got me on that one. Can't argue with that. Titanfall and Doom have b-hopping, or well, mobility similar to b-hopping built in, with the developers fully intending it to be used, and those games make that very, very clear. To say this is the same thing as Left 4 Dead 2 b-hopping is a absolutely terrible comparison. Valve did not intend b-hopping to be inside Left 4 Dead 2, and it really isn't a problem. It just looks ridiculous, and I'm not sure what the problem is with this comment. I call b-hopping a skillful display, which is exactly what this comment is saying. Also, in that video, I was actually b-hopping. I spent a month prior trying to learn it. The fact that you compare the learning curve with b-hopping to Titanfall and Doom shows me that you have never b-hopped in your entire life, because b-hopping in Left 4 Dead 2 is nowhere near. I can't even compare them. There's not even a comparison to how difficult it is to b-hop in Left 4 Dead 2. By I don't know Shark. I'm watching your videos and it just appears that you hate everything about this game. Yeah, I've been playing this game for a decade and I keep coming back. You know what else is nonsense? The fact that you think I hate this game. This comment is from EN Counterculture Media. The trailers are, well, trailers, not gameplay showcases. Sir, you could have gameplay in-game trailers, but in Left 4 Dead 2's case, it's very clearly stylized. Even in-game, as having a strong movie aesthetic, hence why the trailer is like a movie trailer. On top of that, most of your nitpicks are stuff like at the beginning where the developers made changes and cuts that made the game not line up with the trailer. Tons of small details because of this. I mean, do you guys think they animated the trailer after the game was finished? No, they would have done it alongside the development, and naturally you get inconsistencies like this. Of course, you're just content farming, so of course you don't really care about the actual game. I think this comment's pretty wrong. It's obvious that the Left 4 Dead 2 and the Left 4 Dead 1 trailers are all in different universes. A parallel universe where the survivors went backwards from the parish to the dead center, where you can climb the roller coaster in Dark Carnival. That explains the changes from the trailer to the real game. There's just too much evidence. Your stylized theory is nonsense. The parallel universe theory, now that has some backbone to it. Even the comment section agrees with this game theory. Content farming, don't care about the game.
Oh yeah, can't help what you thought.
Since you care more than me, how about send me a video you playing Bile Mountain on expert and beating it. Really, do it, being dead serious. By A. Lee IF6LD. The reason why the survivors are superhuman are because they're actually infected. If you look at the lore, the Left 4 Dead 1 and the Left 4 Dead 2 survivors straight up infect people that attempt to save them, such as the poor helicopter pilot from Mercy Hospital. The survivors are basically infected that keep their humanity. They share the infected superhuman strength and durability. Hell, they can melee doors into pieces. Like you said, cut through dozens of zombies with everyday household items. That and the fact that a punch from the tank doesn't instantly hospitalize or kill one of them, that's why they survive for so long. I fully agree. In fact, he's doing what I'm doing on the daily, trying to make sense of nonsense. This one's from ManFace51. I was always under the impression that the loading screen posters were B-movie posters based on the horrors from the 80s and early 90s. The characters in both are campy and exaggerated stereotypes. It's a quote-unquote, hey look at what we think a real-life movie poster based on this campaign would look like, end quote. Hence the subtle differences in likeliness. Actors portraying them, weapons, budget rifles, and scenery. It's not meant to be seen as this one-for-one accurate representation of what you're about to play. It's about the vibe. Don't get lost in the sauce, Chief. Now, a lot of people agree with this comment because it's true. He's right. But everything he said, I said it first! Well, the vibe part that I literally say in the video in each loading screen. Left 4 Dead 2's whole end credits and loading screens are supposed to feel like a movie. The entire style of Left 4 Dead 2 is supposed to give off movie vibe. That's why the end credits and the loading screen posters look the way they look. So I guess you can totally, with reason, disregard my criticism because you can simply state that the loading screens are movie portrayals of actors that have been replaced throughout each loading screen. Oh, don't get lost in the sauce? I never did. It was you who got lost in the sauce. This comment and the comments that agree to him are clowns. Also, I didn't forget about dead air. I realized that it was a pretty bad joke, but I left dead air out because I thought it would have been like dead air in the video. This one's from Dapperfield595. The problem is that you compare Left 4 Dead 2 bots to human players when they aren't. You should compare them to walking sentry guns, them essentially being tools to success. You shouldn't be too harsh and just abandon them recklessly, but they'll make a fine distraction for a final safe room dash. Then your safety is more important. You've seen it here, folks. Someone out there in the world is defending Left 4 Dead 2 bots. Alright, first of all, I compared them to their infected counterparts, and I stated that in the video like 3 times, so I don't know where you're getting this comparing them to humans. Second, they're not walking sentries without the bot add-ons. They're walking clowns. They're not tools to success. I mean, are y'all hearing this? It can't just be me. What type of nonsense are you spitting? Where is the proof? I've got proof the bots being clowns. Where's your proof? Maybe on easy difficulty they can be considered as turrets. Anything above that, and they're body shields. Bots are too slow, including finding the targets they want to focus on. That's what bot add-ons mostly fix. The bot's speed in ticking off the infected. Maybe if you added on the bot add-ons, I'd agree with you, but without the bot add-ons, you're just wrong. Straight up. Leaving them behind is not only viable, but it's sometimes the best choice. Solo play in Left 4 Dead 2 is very, very different from playing normally. Rushing ahead of zombies not too far where they respawn, but they continue to chase you, is usually the best option. And that's what I used to do in my old expert solo runs in Left 4 Dead 2 maps. Sticking with the bots usually gives you a false sense of security. If you get caught and the bots just so happen to stand in the wrong spot, they won't save you in time. Even when their pathing is clear, the bots won't save you because they're just too slow. It's just easier to use the game's zombie limit against itself. Even if you, for example, use them for a distraction to make a dash at a safe house, this also won't work unless they get boomed on. But even then, the bots will kill the zombies, spawning more zombies ahead of you, lowering your chances to the point where just rushing ahead would have been a safer option. This comment is from CR800S. But Nascos, what about the split screen icon that came with the Xbox version? This comment is true. I completely forgot about the split screen icon in Left 4 Dead 2. Exclusive to only the console version of Left 4 Dead 2. Rochelle and Nick stand side by side. Weird combo. If anything, I thought it'd be Ellis and Nick. But to be fair, Ellis already has his own icon. There was a point where all the survivors had starred in an icon in the menu. It's pretty cool when you really think about it. all the survivors had a menu icon. Sadly, that is far, far in the past. These were just a few of the comments in the vast array of comments I've either read or replied with. Now, for some reason, people don't like the fact that I heart every single comment I've ever gotten, whether bad, good. I read every single one of them, and that's why I heart them, because that lets people know that I read through them. Because as YouTube gets older, the responsibility of replying to comments seems to be fading away slowly but surely. Maybe it's not good for my mental health to reply to all my comments or even read them, but I don't care. Bad, horrible, skill issue, straight up just slander on my name, I will read them. Whether your comment is just restating what I said or telling me to go die, I will be here reading them until I die. Whether that's nonsense or not, it's up to you.